Hello everyone and welcome back to SGTV. We are joined by one of our own today from the Midlands, a real human in the studio again. We've got Amy Barratt-Singh joining us. Amy, it's great to have you here.
It's great to be here, thank you.
How you feeling? You feeling nervous?
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay, right, we'll try and put you at ease.
Okay.
So we've been seeing you quite a lot on social media. You seems to be picking up quite a lot of traction on there. So we thought it'd be a good opportunity to get you in and see what you're about. So give us a bit of an introduction to yourself. Tell us what you do, where you're at in your career.
Okay, so I work for a company 3 days a week, and then I have my own business as well. I studied at college. I did level 2 and level 3 full time. I think I finished 2.5 years ago. So I was meant to be continuing my training and starting my MVQ a couple of months back, but I've been so busy with work, I've sort of put it on hold for now.
Is that your own work or for the company you work for as well?
My own work, because sort of this year it's really sort of taken off, or I've really pushed it myself, to be fair. Because I used to work 5 days a week, and then I cut down to 3 with this company, and then I've sort of pushed my own as I've got busier and busier. Yeah.
So the plans to try and go full time on your own, self-employed?
Not yet. I enjoy the safety net of having those 3 days a week. And also because it's all still quite new to me, I'm still learning a lot. So with the company that I'm with, we do domestic, commercial and industrial work. So
it's quite a good variety, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose a lot of people, whether they're the work they're being trained on or the work they're taking on themselves, they tend to stick to one, focus really.
Yeah.
But that's quite good that you've got a bit of a variety.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I like the variety, and like I said, I get to learn a lot. And yeah.
Any preferences so far out of the type of work you're doing?
No, not really. I think if I do domestic, like loads, then I'll start thinking, I'm bored of this. But then the same happens when you do commercial. So I don't really know. I used to really dislike domestic stuff, but this year I've really enjoyed it. Do
you find it tricky though? Because a lot of Sparkies I've spoken to, especially from a commercial or an industrial background, going to domestic.
Yeah, they hate it.
Yeah, they find it quite tricky.
Yeah, it's very different. I think a lot of people find if you do a lot of just commercial, going into domestic, I imagine seems like hassle, because working in people's houses, like say doing a rewire in a house that's lived in, it can be a nightmare. But if that's your job that you used to, then it's just every day, isn't it? But I can see why people moving from commercial to domestic to just don't like it, don't enjoy it.
You have some weird old man like, what are you doing over there?
I've had that.
Really?
Jab
them in the eye with a screwdriver.
Yeah, I was on some like masonettes in Coventry once, and we were putting emergency lighting up high level, and I was up the ladder, and suddenly this guy just burst out the window and was like pushing his. He had a German Shepherd, and he was pushing it out the window, saying, "Stroke my dog, stroke my dog," and I was like, "Leave me alone."
Wow,
trying to put your lights up. Yeah, you do meet some weirdos. You meet some lovely people as well. Don't get me wrong.
So what made you want to become an electrician to begin with?
I'd thought about it for a while. Both of my brothers are electricians. They both got their own businesses down in London. I had sort of a year out when I was about 28, and I went travelling. I just sort of left everything behind for a bit. I went travelling. I had to think about what I wanted to do, and then came back. Needed a new challenge. Needed a change. I'd moved back from London to the Midlands, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna have a little crack at it.
Yeah.
It's more me than sort of. I couldn't do like an office job or something like that. I'd be
going crazy.
Yeah. And I've loved every minute. Like, no, that's a lie. I've not loved every minute. There's been some rubbish points, but I've loved it, and I wouldn't go back now.
Yeah. Do you think the travelling maybe gave you that headspace to think that's definitely what I want to do, or was it more
Travelling gave me the confidence to do it. I think the only thing stopping me before was confidence. I think being away because I went on my own, like backpacking, I think it just made me feel like I've came back feeling totally different about lots of things. Yeah, I think I could do anything. I felt like I could do anything. So going to college wasn't as scary as going round 8 Asian countries on your own.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing, you know, like you're saying, how you've almost got that safety net of the company you do a few days with. Do you think that plays into that quite big as well? That you think if I didn't have that, maybe I wouldn't be trying to go at it on my own.
yeah, I need that because I know I'm not ready to be to go out on my own.
You say that, but you've gone around however many countries in Asia on your own.
I know what you mean. It's a different thing though.
But it's a big jump, isn't it?
It is a big jump, yeah. And yeah, I'm quite happy the way I am. I work with a good bunch of guys, and yeah, it works. It works for me. It works for them. So
yeah, you said you're still studying at the minute. So what? Tell us about what you're studying.
Well, because of the way I did my qualification, I did level 2, level 3 full time at college. And then you need to do, or you don't need to, you can do the MVQ at the end. And I didn't do that because I got a job and I didn't need it at the time, so I just started working. I've realised that really it'd be good to have it. Well, it depends what I want to do in the future, but because I'm not sure yet. So I looked into doing it this year, and I've been so busy, I just know I don't have time. I've been working like 7 days a week for about 3 months. So yeah, next year, things calm down a bit. I'm hoping to go back to doing my MBQ.
Yeah. And so what's your long-term career goal then? I know you said just now you're slightly unsure, but you must have some inclination of what you want to be doing.
I don't know. I'm quite happy. I'm happy at the minute. I'm sort of one of those people that sort of takes one day at a time. I'm happy with the way things are. In the future, maybe just running my own business and having a female apprentice would be great, because I've lived, and I know how hard it is to get a decent position in a company, like with decent people, and I'd love to give another female that opportunity.
Giving that back almost.
Yeah.
What sort of obstacles have you faced? I know you just said it's quite difficult to find an apprenticeship, which we hear a lot, and it's quite sad really that we need more apprentices and apprenticeships. But what other obstacles have you faced in your career or studying?
Well, right from the beginning, going to college, I mean, I was still nervous. Although I thought, I can do this, I was still nervous. Being at college was quite frustrating because I was the eldest in the group, and I had moments where I thought, this is a waste of time, a waste of money, because obviously I was paying for it, whereas a lot of the people there, it's funded. So they're there just because they've got to be somewhere, I think, rather than because they want to be there. So college was difficult. I felt like I was wasting my time. And I didn't have a job because I needed to be at college 2.5 days a week. And I just thought I could be doing something better with my time and earning money. But anyway, I stuck with it. College courses, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but colleges now the college I went to, it was terrible. Completely unorganised. Most of the time we didn't have a tutor. I literally felt like I was throwing my money away, but I had to be there and do it to do my exams and pass. And luckily I did.
Yeah, that's persevere. What do you think the problem is then with the colleges at the minute? I mean, we're not going to name names of specific colleges, but in general it's known that funding isn't great for a lot of education. Do you think that was a problem, or?
Personally, for me, the college was... there was never any tutors, and when they'd got a tutor for us, they'd last like a month. The class was just totally out of control. I mean, I say kids; they're kids to me because I was 29 when I went to college. There were some older guys in there in their 20s, but a lot of them were 17, 18, and none of the tutors stuck around because, I mean, obviously there was probably issues within the college that I didn't know about, so I can only say what I saw. There was no support for them, and they couldn't control the classes. They'd do a few weeks, have enough and leave. And to the rest of the class, or most of the class, they weren't bothered. But to me, spending a lot of money on it, I was bothered because I'd go in and they'd be like, you sit on a computer today and answer these questions. And I'm like, well, I could have done that at home. Like, it's just a waste of my time. It's just... it's one of those things, you've got to persevere with it, get through it.
And when you're, I'm not saying you're old, but when you're
I am, though.
when you're older than, say, 16, 17-year-olds that are on the course, you're probably going to have a more mature mindset and probably a more determined mindset because, like you say, they're there. They're young. They're not going to be as up for it as someone like you who wants to be there to learn so they can progress onto their career.
I'd been through all that years ago when I was at college, like, you know, annoying the teacher and, you know, being
drunk.
horrible.
I never did that.
And turning up late and stuff. And like I said, when you're paying a lot of money for it, I was just sitting there getting more and more angry. And I mean, some of the stuff that the others did, I found funny for about 10 seconds. And I'd be like, everyone shut up and listen. Like, but yeah, I got through it. I did all right. Other than that, obstacles are some men that don't want women to be there on site. Yeah.
That still goes on?
Yeah. My very first job, like, I think I got it like a week before I left college. I was subbing to a company, local company. They've got about, I don't know, 50 electricians working for them. I was the only female. And I worked with a guy who was just absolutely vile. He was one of their sort of senior electricians, and he made it very clear that he didn't think I should be there. Didn't agree with women in trades, thought it was a joke, and was just horrible to me the whole time.
Yeah.
So I ended up leaving there after a few months.
It's bad you say that. We've had, I think, 2 or 3 other female electricians on the show. None of them have ever had a problem. They've almost said the opposite there. They couldn't be more helpful. Don't
get me wrong. Most people that I've met, I mean, I've had way more positive experiences than negative. But I think with that experience, with it being right at the beginning of my career, like my first job that I went into.
It's going to hit your confidence, isn't it?
Yeah. It made me doubt everything I'd done. I thought, oh, I shouldn't have done this. Like, I mean, it made me think, is this what it's going to be like? Is this me now? Like, is this work life? But no, it's not. I left there. I worked for another company doing new builds and stuff. And that was a different experience. That was good. Really small company. There was only 3 of us. And that was good, but it was too much travelling. And then, like I said, I got this job with this company, which is just a mile from my house. Oh, it's all local work, great guys, there's 6 of us. And then I can't think of any negative experiences I've had. I've had a couple of customers being a bit funny.
You get that with every job, no matter what you do, don't there? There's always going to be someone who, you know.
It's funny though, because I always thought, like at the beginning, I thought that I'd have problems with sort of the older generation, like old school men that thought, this isn't for women, why is she here? But it's been more guys a similar age to me, or like late 30s, early 40s, that have had a problem.
Hope you're watching. You should be ashamed of yourselves out there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about highlights though. Let's talk about positives. What's been some of the best parts of your career so far? Things that really stand out?
My first board change was like big for me because I was putting it off. I was like almost like scared. I don't know why.
It's a big thing though, isn't it?
It is a big thing.
It's something, if it goes wrong, it's going to go wrong.
Yeah. Getting this job with the company close to home was really good for me because I'd been out of work for about 2 months and I was getting sort of like, again, starting to like doubt myself, thinking, I straight away think, oh, it's because I'm a woman. Like, people don't want me because I'm a woman. This is what it's going to be like for my whole career. But it's not. It's just finding the right company at the right time. So, yeah, that was a highlight. I think lately, my own jobs, because I've been, you know, you start off doing really small jobs, like changing lights and adding an extra socket here and there and stuff. But lately, I've done some like bigger jobs on my own, like kitchen rewires and board changes. And I always walk in on the first day of a job and I'm like, oh, God. I don't say it to the customer, but in my head I'm like, I can't do this. What have I said? Yeah. And then I crack on with it and I do it. And at the end, like, I've just done this kitchen I work with this builder who's a friend of mine. It was a tricky one. The first day I turned up, I didn't know. He just told me, he just said, like, you're going to rewire a kitchen, blah, blah, blah. Turned up, I saw it and I thought, and he said, I didn't send you any photos or tell you the details because I knew you wouldn't turn up. And yeah, it's a tricky one, but I just finished that last weekend and I'm so pleased with it. And I sort of stood at the end when I was like tidy enough thinking, I've done this. I'm really proud of myself. It was a really good job.
I think that's what happens when you start doing work for yourself, no matter what trade or anything you're in. You start doing things for yourself, taking responsibility for yourself, and you just see that little reward of like, I've done that, you know, I'm proud of that. It will give me the confidence to go on and do something else now.
and it's nothing to anyone else. Or you know, like if you do a job that I don't know, say you do a conduit job and you look at it and you think, oh, that's a bit ropey, that is. And then the next time you do it and it's like bob on, you think, oh, I'm well proud of that. And it means nothing to anyone else, but to me, I'm like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to ask you what your advice would be for anyone thinking of getting into the trade. It doesn't matter age, gender, anyone who's just genuinely thinking about getting into the trade. What would your advice be?
Don't give up. Like, you're gonna face really sort of difficult situations, but everything will be all right in the end. It all works out in the end. I've always believed that, and it does. Like, I've faced lots of different things along the way, and it would have been so easy for me to give up. Like, after that first bad experience, you know, I was really seriously thinking, I don't think I can do it. And I'm looking back now, like 2 years back, I'm so glad I didn't give up, because things have only got better and better since then. So yeah, don't give up, keep on going. There's so much advice and support, like online, through Instagram, for apprentices. One of my friends, Mark, runs, he's got a page, Apprentice 1-to-1. And they, you know, they give advice and they match companies and apprentices up all over the country. But
I
yeah,
think we've had them on the show actually.
Have you?
Yeah, yeah.
They're great.
I'm
Mark's
looking
a
around
great
at
guy.
people behind the camera. So.
But then yeah, YouTube pages and or whatever you call them. There's so much support out there.
Where can people find you? You're quite popular on Instagram, so where can they find you on there?
At Amy the Sparky.
There you go, get following.
On Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
And my YouTube channel will be up next week as well. So
You're starting one?
Yeah.
There you go, that's one to look out for.
Yeah.
So I hope you've all found that interesting and found that useful. If you want to see more from us here at SGTV, please make sure you like, subscribe and hit the notification button below.